Why, hello there. I didn't see you come in. No, don't put any clothes on. Welcome to the Hard Reset Podcast, Episode 2. Here we have the usual suspects. I'm Tom Reed, your host, game designer and writer. And also Ben Quai, 'cause I gotta. Say hello.
Hello.
We got our fearless producer, Russ Greeno.
Hello, everyone.
Pie maker and slightly hungover genius and co-mastermind, Daniel Hobbs.
What's up?
And we have a fresh face amongst us today, writer, designer, Sam Wigmore. Say hello.
Hello, hello Internet.
And what's your beef, man? How did you come to be a part of this intrepid team?
I met Ben Quai via gaming tournaments, and I kind of just stayed with him. I can't get rid of him, to be honest.
That's cool. What kind of game tournaments do you play?
Marvel, Street Fighter, anything I can get my hands on.
Ah, nice. So you're part of the fold of fella. You understand when someone says, "I bodied you for free, you fraud," so hold that in your chest. Let's run that back. Man,
I'm the one usually saying it.
I think it's like 50% of my vocab is based on fighting game discussion. All right. Excellent to have you on board. And it's been an interesting week. Segue straight into the news. And something that's of interest to me especially, seeing as I love Metal Gear Twin Snakes made by Silicon Knights, but I hear on the grapevine that they are no more. Does anyone want to shoot out some news about that? Tell me, what's cooking?
Well, Ben Quai's the Two Human guy. He loves that game. So,
Nothing wrong with Vikings. Nothing wrong with
deflected.
Vikings. Basically, they're on the way out. They're not quite dead, but they're nearly dead. You know, they naughtily used a bit of the Unreal Engine, and then Epic got upset.
Yeah.
And they got slapped with a lawsuit, and then it took forever. Finally decided that, yep, Silicon Knights, they've been naughty, and now they've got to destroy all unsold copies of Two Human, X-Men Destiny, and Trist, is it? Another game. And yeah, so we're going to invest all of Hard Reset's money into buying up copies of Two Human, and then sell them for £100 each.
sound investment.
Is Two Human a wicked good game? Or is it just the fact that it's no longer going to be on sale that makes you want to buy up all the copies?
Well, it's an okay game. It did get panned quite horribly. I'm not going to lie. You know, it was okay. It had Vikings in it, and it was future space Vikings. Of course I was going to enjoy it.
Well, if a game's got future space Vikings in it, then it has pretty much every single ingredient you need for a good game. I think that's why Skyrim hasn't done as well as it could have done, is that it hasn't got that, space pirate Viking edge.
If you slapped on a Lavar, a Lavar visor from Star Trek onto the Dragonborn, you're onto a winner.
Who then went on to do Amistad, so, controversial.
Exactly.
So, Silicon Knights they actually have a very talented team, but I think they are hit and miss. And it's interesting how I mentioned Metal Gear because, to me, that's one of the best remakes, reimaginings I've ever seen. And they truly loved the subject material. Do you think that there might be a home for Silicon Knights elsewhere? Like, do you think that maybe EA or Microsoft could swallow them up and rebrand them and have them, going back to making the good stuff of their glory days?
It's always possible, whenever it's always sad when a company dies, no matter what the company is. I mean, it looks like that THQ, one of my favorite companies, is going to be on the way out shortly.
Mm.
So, you want one of the big companies to snap up these licenses and maybe do something with these, obviously talented, creative people.
True that. I tell you what, you'll like this. I put a ridiculous amount of time into playing SmackDown on the PS1. Man, I thought that game was amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah, still to this day.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Silicon Knights, you're not resting in peace just yet, but we are getting our spades ready to bury you. Have a good one. Grand Theft Auto 5. They have come clean. They have spilt the beans. They've given us the skinny. Things such as, and I want your guys' opinion on this, and I think maybe our newest recruit can chime in on the music. Apparently they're going to be using mostly an original score rather than a collection of popular tunes from other artists. What's your angle on this?
Personally, it depends on what sort of score they're talking about. You could go the route of the older Grand Theft Autos, where it's using tracks from all different genres. But if they talk about score, it sounds more like, if you think of the Halo score, the Mass Effect score, it's slightly more on the classical side.
Yeah.
Which, to me, I think it's going to be more of the loading screens, more that side of stuff, rather than the channels that you get on the radio. So I think we're actually going to end up getting a mix.
If I don't hear Gangnam Style in my next Grand Theft Auto, I'm going to be annoyed.
I'm going to take it back to the store if there's no Gangnam Style, because that pretty much will sell it. Damn straight. Man, I love that track. It never gets old. All right. Something that I thought was quite interesting was the fact that there are 3 protagonists that have been outlined for this new game. And I'm thinking, why 3? Why not 2? Or why not a whole crew? Whatever. Maybe it's because their technology allows them to have 3 players simultaneous. And what if it was drop in, drop out? So you're playing Grand Theft Auto and it's a vibrant world, and you can have up to 3 people playing on the same server together, doing all of the one-player missions and experiencing all of them from their own angle, so they can play it how they want to play it. What do you think? Is multiplayer throughout the one-player campaign a reality now, or are you going to have to switch between them Resident Evil 6 style?
I think it's it just changes up the franchise a little bit, really, to have more than one protagonist, even if it is just you're switching between them on your own. They had the Red Dead, they had the L.A. Noire and GTA 4, they're all one guy playing through it changes up a little bit, because I think some people, even though they're absolutely amazing games, might start getting a little bit sick of them. Like just having that, because it is essentially the same thing over and over and over again. It's because it doesn't come out every year, people aren't sick of it, but I think if they do, they think that they might be pushing their luck to do another one. That's why they put in 3 people, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I do get a little bit bored around the 3/4 mark of any Grand Theft Auto game, because I do feel like, man, this guy's voice, I've seen him, I'm doing the same missions pretty much. And I'll guarantee you, like with Grand Theft Auto, there's no way you can't have a certain level of rinse, lather, repeat. Am I right? So having 3 protagonists, so you're constantly switching up the narrative and giving somebody, a fresh perspective. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that's the reason why they're doing it. And having 3 characters is the same as having your beginning, middle, and end. So maybe that's it.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just in mission as well. It's outside of mission. Each of the characters, you can switch between them on the fly outside of missions. And each character has their own social circle. Like Michael, who I think is the guy you hear in the first trailer, he's got his wife and his kids who spend all his money. The younger guy, I can't remember what his name is now, he's got like crackhead friends you have to deal with and stuff like that. So it's just more layers to the gameplay and the narrative, just purely, I think, to make it more interesting to play.
Mind you, did you guys, anyone here chime in? Did you guys connect with Nico Bellic at all? Did you feel like you were invested in his story?
Not as much as previous characters.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It's just the whole coming to America sort of rise and fall. It didn't really. I enjoyed the game, but it didn't really connect with me. I much preferred the Lost and the Damned expansion to all of the story in GTA 4.
Yeah. Well, do you think that we might be in for a similar thing? I mean, you've got like a retired bank robber. You've got a what's his job? He's the youngest guy. There's a young guy. I should bring this up.
You've got Michael, who's the older one, He's in witness protection. He's an ex-criminal. That's the one with the wife and kids. Then you've got his mate Trevor, who's like a crackhead, repeat criminal. And then you've got Franklin, who's I want to say, was he an accountant or something?
You're Franklin. He's the young and capable one of the bunch. He works as a repo man.
Repo man, that's right. Yeah. I wanted to say bail bondsman for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Jackie Brown, which is amazing, by the way. Check it out if you haven't watched that. So yeah, like, do you feel like you can reach out and grab any of these characters? Like, because one's a psychotic nutcase, one's like, a beaten down dog who, like, maybe can't be taught new tricks, and then you've got a young guy who's going to be like the young preppy upstart in this team. I'm not sure if any of those are going to immediately jump out at me either. I certainly didn't like Nico Bellic. I thought he was a dick. I wanted him to fail.
I think with like Nico, we are all people living in cities. We're born in the same country we still live in now, I'm assuming. And, the coming from like a war zone where Nico came from to America is not a story we can identify with.
Clearly you've never been to Taunton.
Whereas, you've got these three characters in GTA 5. You've instantly got ways you can get into the game. Do you see what I mean? 3 ways you can get into the character.
Mm.
You can identify with one of them at least, whoever's playing it. If you're an old, drugged out psychopath, you will obviously go towards Trevor a little bit more.
Mm.
Hello.
Trevor. Okay. Well, we have an article on hardreset.co.uk, which is the GTA 5 details revealed, written by our fearless, heroic Dan Hobbs.
It's very good.
It's
a very good article.
It's a ripping read. So get on down there and check that out. You can look at that while you're listening to us warble on. And speaking of warbling, unfortunately, Nintendo Wii U are at it again, revealing that you can actually have video chat with their Wii U. And the friend codes are gone, and you can actually just contact people like normal people do by using a gamer tag or some such. Now, hold on. Isn't it my imagination, or didn't we have video chat and non-ridiculously long codes to contact each other with every other console but Nintendo? So why are they high-fiving and saying, hey, this is great?
Hey, Nintendo, they love to catch up.
They should be just apologizing and saying, look, I'm sorry that every single console we release is like a generation behind the times. We're doing our best. We do have Shiggy, and Shiggy makes amazing games, and that should give us a free ride, right? What are your thoughts? Dan, I know that you've got some opinions. Feed me.
Well, before recording here, I left my place of work and went to my local Blockbusters to see Mr. Kwai's baby brother. And laid down £10.
For what?
A Wii U.
I bloody knew it! I bloody knew it!
Whoa.
I bloody know you disposable income frack.
We're supposed to be keeping the language out of this, but I think you just said you deposited on a Wii U. Did I hear that right?
I did.
Now, I've got something I got to say about this actually, but first, justify yourself. Why? Why would you do that?
I'm very much like a techie sort of person. I love gadgets and things.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're buying it because it's a new piece of tech.
Yeah,
you're not even buying it. You should be saying, anyone who puts down a deposit on a new games console should be saying, oh, it's because this is coming out, or it's because, man, like this thing can push the limits of video gaming to the nth dimension. But
I know. I really want to play Scribblenauts. I do kind of want to play Zombie U, and
No, you don't.
Everyone
wants to play Zombie U.
Everyone likes a side-scrolling Mario, and it's Pikmin, and Lego City on the cover is quite possibly could be the best game ever made.
I just discovered. Sorry, that's my text message.
Look, Tom, we probably needed that because otherwise, me and you are probably going to go into the corner and kill ourselves.
Yeah,
you're going to come into my house.
But hold on, okay, now the Wii U. There's plenty more bitching to go around, but I want to bring in some brevity, if I may. I want to shine some light of hope out there for those who were just moaning and groaning and going, oh geez, here comes the Wii U. Like, it's like the ugly kid who shows up to the party and no one invited him, but They're just hoping that it'll leave, and then everyone yawns and says, "Whoa, look at the time." And then they go to someone else's house, and the Wii U doesn't know where that is, so he has to go home, cries, commit suicide. Right? That's what we're all hoping. But
not.
wait. Okay, well, you're on your own, buddy.
But I was that kid, so that's why I pre-ordered one.
It's good that you've got a different opinion of the Wii U, but I might be swinging over to your side a little bit, Russ.
Yeah?
Because I just discovered Monster Hunter is coming out for the Wii U. And I love Monster Hunter, and anyone who doesn't love Monster Hunter is obviously broken inside. It's truly a remarkable game, and has been waiting for an official next-gen release that really shows off the lush variety and the excitement of the multiplayer that game has. And still, we're waiting. And the Wii U is actually going to have a proper, up-to-date graphics Monster Hunter game. And I'm absolutely thrilled. So much so, I'm afraid that when push comes to shove and that game comes out, I might have to get me a Wii U.
Is there a UK release date?
This is not the same man I heard last week.
Okay, no, don't get me wrong. The only reason I bought a Wii is because my GameCube was threatening to die, and I thought, well, it plays my GameCube games, and it'll probably last a lot longer, and it could be fun. So I bought it. And I'm going to look at the Wii U the same way. If I can get one secondhand and not have that stupid controller with the screen and stuff, then that would be awesome. But I guess it's an integral part. I don't know. But I'm still ragging on it. I will continue to rag on it. Even if I own one, I will rag on it. Anyone got a Wii, by the way, here in this room?
Yes.
Yep.
How do you play on it?
Never.
Yeah,
All right.
I played on it last
it
night.
doesn't get used.
It's a
Did you
hard
play?
I'm still finishing Skyward Sword.
Mm.
Okay,
That is fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a good game.
Like I said, Shiggy, he comes in and he is literally paying Nintendo's bills with his genius. And it's amazing, really, because Miyamoto hasn't done anything that you would say was particularly out of the box original for freaking ages. I mean, he's basically just refining his process, but it's so damn good that they're managing to still shift consoles that literally no one wants to play just so they can play his games. Man, he is the golden goose, and one day he's gonna go, and I wonder what will happen to Nintendo then. Okay, moving on to our next segment, unless anyone wants to rag on the Wii U some more, or Russ, do you want to protect it? Do you want to?
Oh, I'm looking
No?
forward to the Wii U, but I don't think you're going to listen to reason.
What's the reason? Why are you
I'm
looking
just going to
for
keep my burning hate deep in my chest.
Just come over and punch me later, quiet. It's fine.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so while we beat on each other out of pure frustration, there is the new section that we're going to talk about here. Do I give a crap? We got some new games that are coming out, and I want to know if anyone here gives two rat's craps about these games. First off, Andrew Lloyd Webber's Sing and Dance on the Wii. Russ, you're the only guy who actually plays on the Wii. Are you pumped about this game?
Well, it's not really for me, but there's a whole audience of people playing music and dancing games, so it's just another one for them, isn't it?
Well, I guess so.
The problem I have is his face is on the front cover and he's not an attractive man.
Yeah, and any child who's going to go through wanting to get a new game, they're not going to know who this Andrew Lloyd Webber guy is unless they think he's Spider-Man.
It's truly a terrifying face.
Who's going to want to sing Les Mis in their fucking living room?
Russ?
Or any of those kind of shows? It's just... I don't even want it on the BBC. Someone needs to bury... This is just an argument for someone to put Bruce Forsyth out of his misery.
Oh, man. He's been on my death list for so long now. When will he die?
Exactly.
It's the same day as the apocalypse is happening in a couple of weeks.
You know, it's amazing to me that it's going to be Bruce Forsyth, Cher, and cockroaches, and they're the only three things that are going to be able to survive a nuclear holocaust. He actually danced Gangnam Style the other day. My mum sent me a link to it via email, and I was distraught. It actually ruined, she ruined my childhood by not giving me a bike, and now she ruined my adulthood.
And he didn't have a double hip break.
To counteract Bruce Forsyth, though, there is a Miyamoto doing Gangnam Style. A gif of that on the internet. So,
yeah. Balance restored.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Paper Mario Sticker Star Story. Anyone got, any good? I mean, I've got a really happy memory of playing Paper Mario. It's so it's so subtle with its humor, and it's real fun, and it's like real RPG light stuff. Do you think that the 3DS is going to bring back the magic, or is this just a franchise in name only?
I'm really looking forward to it.
It's what Nintendo's known for. Oh man, we got a new console out. Let's release all the same games on the new console.
Agreed, and you know what? Like, for some reason, we all love it. I have no complaint. Every time they release a new Zelda, it's the same damn game I played last time, and I think that people are afraid to say it. If I talk about Zelda, like, everyone hushes and goes, "Ooh, amazing!" It is the same damn game, guys, but it's so good. Wind Waker's still my favorite, but that's just me. Okay, Black Ops 2. I'm pretty pumped about Black Ops 2. I'm not.
Yeah, I put my pre-order in the other day. I buckled.
See, I told you, there's something wrong with this guy. He has no self-control.
Gonna buy all the things.
He has no self-control.
Yeah, pies mean games, man. It's all good.
We are doing a new video thing, trying out a new video thing when Black Ops comes out. Me and our community manager, Johnny Grimes, are going to record about an hour of us playing and chat about it, put it up on YouTube, see how it all works out.
I'm looking forward to that.
I think, are we all getting together and play some live stream some stuff as well?
Yeah, I'd love that. I've got a capture device too, so I was thinking about maybe showing off my wicked good Tomahawk skills. If they're anything like the original Black Ops, then I'm going to bury some hatchets.
We can play some zombies on Tuesday night, and all the lovely people can... well, when they listen to this, they can watch us play Call of Duty.
But it's going to have to be X-rated, because there is absolutely no way I'm going to be playing Call of Duty and not call people a stinking effing, you know what.
Oh yeah, same here.
Okay, next is 4 Blocks, coming out on the 3DS this week. I don't think anyone really cares about that.
No
let's not suck up valuable airtime.
Just to touch on Black Ops once more.
Yes.
I'll be busy playing Halo.
You know, there's I don't want to plug someone else's stuff here, but there's a guy called Maximilian who does mostly fighting game community stuff, but he's also pretty big on first-person shooters. And his YouTube address is Miles923. And he actually gives like a pretty good review while he's playing Halo 4, and he actually really, I respect his opinions, and he really gives the thumbs up. He says that Halo 4's multiplayer is really excellent stuff and serves as a really nice break. If you're playing Call of Duty and you get raged about it and you want to rage quit, then instead of go and, have a coffee and eat a cake, which is what I do, you can switch over to Halo 4 and it changes the gears really nicely.
It's a really nice multiplayer package. It is the classic Halo multiplayer experience, but they've put enough tweaks in it to make it fair. And it's just, I mean, obviously you get angry at it, but I've only ever had fun. I've never felt like, he got me and there wasn't anything I could do about it. I could have, it's just a really nice experience. Cool.
Okay. Now I want to talk to you guys about the Mass Effect Trilogy compilation. I'm pretty pumped about this because I, as usual, I came to the Mass Effect party really late and I played through, Mass Effect 2 and 3 on the PS3. And I never played the first one. I don't know anything about it, really. I hope that you guys do, and maybe you can educate me and my lovely podcast listeners out there. What is there going to be anything in the trilogy compilation that makes me want to go out and buy that rather than just hold on to the discs that I've got?
I think it will have all the DLC with it. I think that's a nice incentive.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's purely because obviously PS3 didn't get the first game, and because it was published by Microsoft, but they came to some sort of deal with EA, published the other ones, so they could bring it out on the PS3, so PS3 gamers can sit and play through the whole thing. Because I'm sure there were some people who weren't, I don't want to play the second and third one because I haven't played the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though the first one, isn't technically as good as the second one.
It's not great at all.
Yeah, that's what I heard. When I was reading reviews, it all got like 9s and stuff, but at the same time, in the comments, it would always say this, it's kind of clunky, and if you're looking for a shooting experience, it's not, and it's a little bit awkward. Yeah,
All the story and stuff is great, but it's the shooting stuff that they massively improved in number 2. But I couldn't even get through the first game.
I really enjoyed 2 up until the boss. Spoiler alert: the boss isn't great. And 3. I don't know. I don't know what I felt about 3, but I really felt like I was invested in the characters in the second game. I really like those guys. And the third one, it felt like one of those TV episodes where it just reruns all the bits from other episodes because they can't afford to make a full episode. That's what it felt like to me.
I do know exactly what you mean. Number 3 is nowhere near as good as number 2. Number 2 is the best Mass Effect game.
Oh yes.
So far, we'll see what's going to happen with this whole BioWare Twitter. Help us make the next Mass Effect game. It'll probably have very large alien breasts in it.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Man, trying to get some lesbian sex on the go is an absolute nightmare. Let's go with the same sex stuff. That's what I want. I want some boobies. Okay, moving on. Angry Birds Star Wars. Anyone give 2 craps about that at all?
I brought it.
Shameless. I told you, he's literally got a problem. We have to put him in a home.
I got my iPhone 5 this week.
Exactly, see? He's got a problem.
I was flicking through some apps. What's the top paid app? Oh, it's Angry Birds Star Wars.
Okay.
It's 50p. I'll try that out, and it's really fun.
Is it free on Android?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've got it on Android, and it's free, which is nice.
In your face, iPhone 5 boy. Get it?
It's a really good game.
Well, it's Angry Birds. It's the same experience, but with Star Wars paint.
It's like they've taken little bits from each of the other games and then slapped the Star Wars paint on it. So it feels like more of a complete experience as opposed to the other ones which had this bit is only space and this bit's only the bird thing. And do you know what I mean?
So wait a minute, is it literally just the backgrounds are Star Wars themed, but it's the same game, or do they wear Darth Vader hats or something?
Well, there were all the birds and the pigs are dressed up as stormtroopers, and there's a Darth pig, and the red bird is Luke Skywalker, and but when you tap the screen after you fire them, when you tap the screen, they each have a Star Wars-ish power. Like there's a Obi-Wan bird who can force push. There's a Han Solo bird who can use a little laser pistol thing.
Who shoots first, I would hope.
He does shoot first.
Excellent.
In the little cutscenes. The Luke Skywalker one has a lightsaber that you can cut through boxes and stuff to get them out of the way. I think there's bonus levels which are R2-D2 and C-3PO ones, but I haven't touched those yet.
So would you say you got Angry Birds, you played Angry Birds, it's now, every once in a while you'll meet someone who says, I never played Angry Birds, you show them and you go, yeah, it's brilliant. But now you're bored, this Star Wars one comes along, does it reignite your passion for Angry Birds? Has it got enough in the tank?
Not really, but it's 50p and it's a good distraction.
Let me just sum up Daniel Hobbs. More money than sense.
Yep,
okay.
Pretty much.
Well, you are a gift to the gamers industry, sir, and I'll be looking forward to selling you lots and lots of stuff.
He will play anything and buy anything.
I have a copy of Rogue Warrior.
Well, that's something that you shouldn't admit to because people need to actually rely on your opinion, and that was just bad form.
It's terrible, but I still have a copy of it.
Now, we've got a couple more I want to talk about here. F1 Race Stars. Some people call it a Mario Kart clone, although I'm not so sure because you've got these each corner in the game involves you having to do something which is very track specific. You actually have to rely on the track in order to give you speed boosts. Rather than just, all out driving skill and maybe a few pickups. So has anyone had a chance to have a go on this? I saw it briefly at Eurogamer, but,
it's Mario Kart.
It is Mario Kart.
It's Mario Kart with a Formula 1 skin, but it's fun.
Well, I tell you what, do you remember when Mario Kart clones started coming out and then suddenly there was this avalanche of Mario Kart clones? But we don't really see that these days. And, an Xbox Live or PSN Mario Kart online clone would be absolutely awesome. So if that's what it is, then I'll give it a shot.
It would.
I still think there's clones being made. I mean, You got the new Sega Racing coming out, which is a clone basically.
Yeah.
And Little Big Planet.
Yeah, Little Big Planet cartoon.
Is that the Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a familiar game.
Characters.
Because they did a Sega Racing game, I don't know, a couple of months, maybe a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
That had Shenmue in it, and it was Mario Kart, and then that sort of died a quick death. Maybe here it is again, but with 2 Sonics. What?
It's got a bit more than that.
Oh,
3 Sonics and a Knuckles.
would you say that the All Stars Racing Transformed that is a valid entry into the karting universe, Greeno? It sounds like you've got you're fighting the losing man's corner once again.
Well, I played the original, and again, it was a laugh. I spent a few hours on it, but it wasn't as good as Mario Kart.
Nothing's ever as good as Mario Kart,
No.
and actually, even Mario Kart isn't as good as Mario Kart.
No.
Once again, I need to refer to the Namco-made arcade Mario Kart. There's Mario Kart 1 and 2 made in the arcades, and it has all the Namco characters like Pac-Man and the ghosts and stuff, as well as the Mario characters. And it's all in 3D in these incredible environments. And it looks amazing and is better than any Mario Kart that I've ever played.
Yeah, Tom, when you mentioned this, I think that was on Podcast Zero, which we didn't release.
That's
I
right.
meant to mention, if you've got a hacked Wii with Homebrew, you can run those arcade games via emulation.
No.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on YouTube.
Holy shizballs.
Okay, I guess we know what Tom's doing after this.
Oh my god. Yeah, can you play online with it and play with other people?
No, I don't think you can play online.
Hmm.
But
I think there are hacks to play some of them online.
is there?
There's a hack for the Android Homebrew, which allows you to play the old Mario Karts online. So I assume there's something similar for the Wii.
Well, tell you what, guys, I'm going to look into that, and then next podcast, I will come back to you and our lovely, good-looking listeners and tell you what fruits have been born from my desire to play the Namco version of Mario Kart. That would be awesome. One last thing before we move on is that the Batman Arkham City Game of the Year edition that has all of the DLC. I haven't played Arkham City yet. I've been desperately trying to avoid spoilers because I knew that the Game of the Year edition would come out with all the DLC and it would save me an absolute packet. So I've been patient. I've waited. The wait is nearly over. And if anyone out there is like me and is so hacked off with the amount of DLC that comes out for games, knowing that they're going to release an on-disc version later on, then I've been in pain, waiting. But you're not alone. We're all in this together, and as of November 2nd, you will be able to go out and get your copy of the full experience of Batman without having to download crap.
Does that mean you're going to be playing the Wii U version?
Don't make him laugh.
No. All right. I want to know what you guys have been playing, because I've got Resident Evil 6 that somebody lent me, and I haven't even bothered playing it yet. I've been enjoying double XP on Modern Warfare 3, so that shows you how excited I am about playing Resident Evil 6. If it's not Resident Evil 4, I don't want to play it. Anyway, Kwai, the bridge over the river. Talk to me. What have you been playing, man?
Mainly Halo. I'm not going to lie. I was nonplussed when it came out. I was like, I'll get it, when I get paid. But then I saw it over a friend's, over at Mr. Hobbs's, in fact, and I was like, I need to go to the shops. This looks pretty tidy. And it's a very tidy Halo. It is Halo, the greatest hits, but tweaked. So it is probably the best Halo that Bungie didn't make.
Cool. All right. Wigmore, tell me, what's been clogging up your disc trays?
I've actually been playing my Vita a lot. I've got an import game called Project Diva F. And I know
Justin Bieber.
A dancing game, it doesn't sound good, but it's actually one of the best games I played on the Vita. Huge in the arcades, but the Vita conversion is perfect, and I recommend everyone importing it as soon as possible.
All right, okay, good tip. Greeno.
Well, I mentioned I played a bit of Skyward Sword earlier on. That's going quite well.
I haven't played that either, by the way. Like, obviously, I have to play it, and I should play it. Can you give me maybe a couple of sentences to really convince me to rush out there and buy it?
Well, it's a new Zelda game. It's the best looking one so far, and you get to swing your Wii remote around. The special Wii Remote Plus version.
That kind of turns me off, though. I mean, I'm an old school player, man. I want my hands in my lap when I'm playing.
Oh, you can't do that with this one. I think unless you homebrew it again, I think there's a mod so you can use your GameCube controller.
Okay, but like otherwise, I'm literally gonna have to get used to flinging my arms all over the place.
Yeah,
if you want to play Nintendo games, you're going to have to get used to flinging your arms all over the place.
Uh-huh. Especially when you've got like a really expensive tablet-based controller in your hand. Good one, Nintendo. Anything else, Greeno, that you've been playing?
Similar to last week, I'm still working on Professor Layton.
Nice.
And also played the F1 race stars that we mentioned.
Cool.
And the latest demo of Epic Mickey 2 on the PS3.
Now, was the first one any good, yes or no?
I didn't play it.
Okay. So I'm going to go with no, because if it was awesome, then, someone would have piped in by now. What do you think of the second one? Is it toasty?
Well, I think it's nice. It feels nice. It's an interesting little platformer. I mean, I've only played the demo. And it has 3D, if you've got a stereoscopic 3D TV.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Hobbs, apart from buying everything, whether you like it or not, is there actually a game out there that has been buffing your nubbin?
I think, really, I played a little bit Halo 4.
Okay.
I agree with Kwai. It is probably the best Halo game they've released.
Oh.
But I haven't really played enough. I haven't finished the campaign yet. And I've barely scratched their multiplayer. They've got a new mode in there I did touch on called Regicide. Have you played it, Kwai?
I have not. It's on my list. That's after the podcast.
It's like I think it's six player free for all, and one person is the king.
So it sounds to me like a sort of a moving King of the Hill.
Kind of like one person is the king, and obviously you get bonus points for taking that person down. But obviously the king is decided by who has the highest number of points. So it chops and changes all the time. It's like you get a really interesting flow of the game, if you know what I mean. It's really interesting, but yeah, good Halo, good, worth money.
Nice.
If you have all the money like I have.
I haven't played Halo yet, and I love to rag on Halo because they've constantly disappointed me throughout the years. But all I've heard is good things, and I'm tentatively tempted to maybe have a crack and maybe change my opinion. But obviously, more likely is that seeing as I'm already pretty salty about Halo, I'm just going to rag on it some more. But that's pretty entertaining stuff.
It's good. It's not for everyone's taste. Like I'm not a huge fan of the way it feels, because I don't like the fact there's no aim down sight. And I used to like the fact that you couldn't sprint in the game, but they added that feature in.
Yeah, and apparently now everyone can do it, and it's unlimited sprint.
It's unlimited if you have it as a perk, kind of thing. But otherwise, there is a limit on it in the multiplayer.
Okay.
I've got a question about Halo 4, if that's all right.
Shoot.
Has it got an online pass for the multiplayer?
It does not.
Ah.
Oh, that's interesting. And I would have almost thought that every single game has online passes these days.
I'm not sure if Microsoft does them. Did Gears of War 3 have one?
I'm pretty sure that the Gears of War games have always had the online pass. Have they?
I don't think Gears 1 or 2 did. I'm not sure if number 3 does, but 1 and 2 didn't.
Well, this ties in with a question from one of our listeners, Kevin Jordan, whose question is he's asking us to discuss what we think about companies that ask for the season pass with games. And I guess that's not just an online pass, but passes that let you have DLC reduced or a one-off price to have all the content throughout the season. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's, to be honest, a complete waste of money. I don't know. It feels like DLC's okay to a point. I always encourage people to make their games as complete as possible. So if the DLC is before the release, then I think that's awful. So with asking people to put their money up front, it kind of shows me that they don't really care about what they're releasing. They're just thinking about the money later in life.
Yeah, this moves me on to the threatening of another Street Fighter Cross Tekken rant, which apparently the crew here are going to take Christmas off. I'm not, so I will be recording the Street Fighter Cross Tekken Tom's Rant special, and you guys get to weigh in on that. So if you have some opinions about the way that Capcom handled that game or similar instances, then please let us know.
Tom, you going to pronounce their company name correctly? Come on, Cashcom. Come on now.
It's the thing is like the Capcom made Street Fighter, which probably is for me like such a culturally iconic part of my growing up. The reason I learned to play music is because I really, really wanted to be able to play live versions of the Street Fighter 2 stage themes. The reason I took up martial arts, amongst other things, was because of Capcom fighting games. For me, it's helped shape who I am. The artistic, intellectual property, it has been an absolute tour de force in my life. And Capcom can get it very, very, very right, but their marketing strategies are very, very wrong. I don't know. I'm so conflicted. I'm torn.
I know exactly how you feel. I love them to death, but I also hate them at the same time.
Yeah, it's tough, and especially when you see Yoshinori Ono, who after making Street Fighter Cross Tekken had some kind of burnout and he collapsed in his home and had to go to hospital. It's because the company was ragging on him so hard and shipping him out to God knows where instead of being with the production company making the game where he needed to be. He just got exhausted. I mean, it's crazy to me that they spend more money. I mean, do you know all of the Street Fighter Cross Tekken movies for all the characters? They had these amazing movies. None of them exist on the actual disc. Why did they make these amazing CGI movies and then not actually include them in the game?
Yeah, I remember reading about this. This is ridiculous. They're just so wrong in so many ways. They have Street Fighter 4, which in my mind is the perfect fighting game.
Well, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. We didn't talk about this, but what am I playing right now? Third Strike and Guardian Heroes on Xbox Live Arcade because it's been reduced to 400 Microsoft points. Snap it up. Okay, you were saying.
But, and then they go with the whole Street Fighter Cross Tekken debacle with the, finding all this on-disc DLC, and they're like, oh no, it wasn't on the disc, but it is on the disc. Basically, I like, if DLC adds to the game, in a good way, if it added on a story bit that they couldn't quite tell in completing the game, I'm fine with it. But for example, the Horse Armor DLC in Oblivion.
Well, you've gone and hit the nail right on the head there because Bethesda are responsible for the first and worst DLC ever. Something that was free to everybody else, but with the 360 guys, they thought, let's just test the water. Let's just see if they actually would pay for something as non-important as this Horse Armor. And of course, people did buy it because there was nothing else to buy. It was the very first DLC. But of course, then everyone had this massive backlash. Everyone ripped on it. It was outrageous. Why would you charge us for that? And because we want a complete experience, we feel compelled to have it. I understand that. And it's really hard to vote with your wallet by saying, no, I don't want it, when you want it so bad, even if it's not an integral part of the game. Now, Bethesda have now moved forward and brought out the best DLC with the Shivering Isles. And everyone went, well, bravo, you obviously went away after the game was finished, and there was areas of code within the original game that allowed you to build on this extra world. And they went away, built an extra world, and then rewarded the players with some excellent downloadable content that was worth the money.
Even just to hear Shea Goroff, just that guy, is just wonderful.
Yeah, it's a real testament to how you can do it right. Now, with a season pass, it's interesting. Like you've got your Call of Duty Elite service, which has all of the maps delivered to you. And my experience with the maps is that I don't really feel, even though I've got all of them because I did get the Elite service, I don't really feel like I'm really benefiting that much. And still, the maps that I really enjoy are the ones that came on the disc because I've played them the longest, so I know them the most intimately. And I'm actually going to do an experiment. Even though I'll be tempted, I'm not going to buy any DLC for Black Ops 2. That's a promise, and I'm going to try and stick to it because I believe that I should be able to enjoy it for the year that I'll be playing it, just as much as the next guy without having to spend the extra money.
You'll be playing it online, I assume?
Yes.
Well, then you'll be buying the DLC because of the maps. Sure.
Well, they have a system like with all of the other Call of Duties where if you don't have it, then they'll just match you with people who are playing the maps that you do have. So you don't have to buy the DLC. Just it'll mix and match you. So you don't have to own all the maps. It's fine. It'll work. Mind you, they did that with I think it was Halo 3. They did this thing where they changed the matchmaking, so you weren't actually allowed to do team deathmatch anymore unless you owned the maps. Now that was really naughty. I was absolutely outraged about that because I just turned it on one day to play a game of team deathmatch, and it said, "Oh, you can't play this playlist because you haven't paid the extra money." So it was essentially holding my enjoyment to ransom. Have any of you guys had that experience where DLC has actually stopped you from enjoying a game?
I think there was a similar one on the with Halo 3 that, not letting you play certain playlists because you don't have the maps can be a bit annoying. But, I only ever brought the Halo map packs late into the experience when they were cut in price because it's a lot of money to ask for in some cases.
Yeah. Yeah, I think going back to Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I did a tally. While I was in absolute rage mode, I figured out how much it would be to buy a copy of the game and the extra 12 characters and the costumes and the this, that, and the other. And it came up to something, and this is a real figure, it was ballpark around £180 to own the complete Street Fighter Cross Tekken experience. All of this, by the way, is on the disc and was made during the original production cycle. And it blows my mind. How can you rip people off that much? Because the game just isn't worth that.
The game's awful anyway.
Yeah, it's a broken game for sure. But even I'm sure there are some people out there who like it. But can you justify charging your loyal fan base that much money? It's just not right. Mind you, if you're going to sell a new game and it comes with an online pass so you can play multiplayer online, do you think that's fair enough? I mean, the only person that it affects is if you're buying it secondhand. And then if you're buying it secondhand, you just have to factor in the cost of buying the online pass. It kind of regulates the sales of secondhand units, right?
Well, it is a fact that companies don't get a lot of return on pre-owned games. Yeah. And they really, really hate that market. So, they're gonna limit that as much as possible. I don't really see a problem, but then I don't really buy, I don't really buy many bargain bin games. The only ones I do are god awful, and you wouldn't want to play online anyway, such as Shadowrun or
Rogue Warrior
or Brink.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the online pass actually is a free component. It's not like it's an extra $5 when you buy it because it has it. It's a free component, but if you're buying it second hand, then you're going to need to factor in that price. But what it does mean is that it will stop people from saying, "Oh, you know what? It'll be in the second hand store in no time. I'll wait." It's actually kind of just prompting video game players to go out and buy a new copy, which is what the industry actually needs and thrives on. I completely respect how there's a whole subculture of freemium games or free to play where you don't pay anything and then it charges you in microtransactions. Well, I do mind that, but that's a whole nother rant. But I think for buying standalone discs where you play online, selling something that just unlocks everything and rewards you it doesn't reward you. It rewards the companies for making that game when you buy it new. It's like saying, hey, I bought your game new. So I can't argue against it. I'm interested to hear anybody's thoughts though about whether, do you see anything different? Could you suggest a different route?
Well, there's no other way really to do it, I don't think.
No,
when it comes to like online passes, because when you buy a second-hand game, the developer gets no money. This is their way of saying, you're enjoying our game, we need some return on that.
Mm.
So we're going to charge you to play online. You don't have, the thing about all this and all DLC is you don't have to play it. You don't have to pay for it. They're not forcing you to pay for it in 9 out of 10 cases. If you like it, you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
Also, it's a small bit of money from pirate copies because even the pirates have to pay for the online pass.
That's good. Yeah, well, the thing is, as a games developer, and also, I'm not going to say that I'm an angel when it comes to the, I do buy quite a few second-hand games, I guess, because I'm a bit of a retro monkey as well. And sometimes that bleeds over into games that I wouldn't buy new because I'm just not that into it. But if it's available second-hand cheap, then yeah, I'll buy it. Why not? I'll give it a shot. Oh man, I completely lost my train of thought. The point is, with DLC, it is a contentious issue for sure. I'm not entirely sure if I'm against, like, including passes and stuff with new things, but definitely, if you're gonna pay extra for additional content, it better be worth it. And after you've added it all up, it better be within the scope of the original asking price. So, ending up paying nearly £200 for a fighting game that doesn't work properly, well, that's just outrageous. And that, unfortunately, that is happening in our society right now. So vote with your wallets. I bought my copy of Street Fighter Cross Tekken eventually second hand when it was like a tenner, just so I could, own my own copy and it proved to myself that it wasn't that great, which it wasn't. Anyway, I hope that answers your questions, Kevin, and thank you for writing in. Anyone else has anything, then we do have a podcast at hardreset.co.uk. You can give us your feedback on what we've been talking about and your own questions. And finally, the world famous Nostradamus of the week. I want to know your predictions. Mr. Quai, what's going to cook this following week?
Well, someone somewhere, probably in a small third world country, will announce a console, and Hobbs will probably put money down for it.
Hobbs, are you going to counter that, or are you going to agree with that?
No, I think that's pretty solid.
Okay, yeah, that's a good prediction.
This Ouya seems quite tempting.
You can get all these crazy consoles from China. And there's a new, like a Samsung Galaxy Note 2 clone as well that seems to be doing pretty well, called the Star 8000. And it's only like a single core. That's what people don't understand. They're like, wow, it does exactly the same thing and it runs on Android. But then when they try and do anything with it, it goes at 1 mile an hour. It's, look out. But
I've got a knockoff Chinese tablet that runs Android. It's fantastically awful.
There you go. Hobbs makes the mistakes, so you don't have to.
More money than sense.
Yep.
Mr. Wigmore, what is your prediction for the week? 7 days. Go.
I think they're going to announce Epic Star Wars on the Sunshine State. And it's just going to be a game about Luke and Mickey having a nice road trip of self-discovery.
Sounds
well,
good.
It's a bit of a...
Are we now going to get Darth Vader in Kingdom Hearts? Is that what's going to happen?
Without a doubt.
Well, like Darth Vader in Kingdom Hearts is all right. And, again, I would argue Disney's corner that I don't think that they're going to turn Star Wars into... let's be fair here. Like, do you remember the Star Wars Christmas special that Lucas put out and then tried to stop anyone from ever seeing? If you haven't seen it, search for it. You might find it eventually.
I was going to say, I don't think Disney can do any worse to Star Wars than George Lucas has already done to it himself.
Exactly.
It can only go up.
You can only go up from Phantom Man-ass. It's only going to get better after that. Okay, Greeno, Predict me something.
Well, my prediction is there's going to be a new firmware update for the Xbox 360, which adds another layer of advertisements on top of your Xbox Live Gold subscription.
And keeps you charging the same amount of money. Wow, that is a whole salty subject right there. Why am I paying and you're benefiting from advertising? That doesn't make any sense. And also, they're not dedicated servers. You know, it's peer-to-peer. It's like, you know, the server is running off my Xbox, you know, which is why we have hosts. It doesn't make any sense. Why are we paying? Well, Microsoft, you baffle me.
Money.
Mr. Hobbs, predict me something.
Well, I could say I'm going to end up this time next week with a stack of things that I don't really need that I've
More
brought.
Chinese knockoff tech.
Yeah, more Chinese knockoff tech, more terrible bugging in video games. I don't really know. I'm too hungover to think, to be honest.
Right, so your prediction for the week is you're going to possibly be getting over your hangover.
Here's the hoping.
Right.
I can give you a second Hobbs prediction if you'd like.
Yeah, feed us.
He'll probably go on the date with the large 40-year-old ginger girl that he found in some dive in Newmarket, addled with alcohol and pizza, and probably have unfulfilling, unimaginative, sweaty fornication.
Well, you know, her name is Gwen, and I think she deserves respect too. Hobbs, give her my best and tell her that I'll see her next Tuesday.
I will.
All right.
Oh, we have another question in on our Facebook wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
It's from, I'm not even going to pronounce it, Gilbert Quajajo
Godfrey?
Guyam Fee. And his question is, how do I reset my HOC903?
Wait a minute. I'll just open Google.
I'm pretty sure it's spam, but I would like to know how to reset an ACO C903.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
There you go.
Okay, so technical answers are all here. We've got you covered. And thank you much, whatever his name was.
Gilbert.
Gilbert, keep on writing in, buddy. That was fun.
I'm going to make him my Facebook friend.
Right, well, thank you so much, all of you out there, for listening to us once again, talking nonsense for probably about an hour. The credit music, as always, is produced by Stephen Carell Jr. Cracking tune at that. And I'd like to say goodbye. I'm Tom Reed. It's been a pleasure. And if you have any tweets for me, it's at TomReed78. Mr. Kwai, say goodbye.
It's goodbye from me, and I have a Twitter. Find it yourself.
Sam?
Laters internet. Thanks for listening.
Greeno.
That's all, folks.
All right, and Mr. Hobbs?
It's at DJ Hobbs with pictures of all the things I cook.
All right, excellent. And if you want to talk to us, podcast at hardreset.co.uk. Have a good one. Peace.